in school, and that's one of the reasons I started learning how to protect myself through karate. And as a kid, I took Keishin-kan, Narikan, Shotokan, and as an adult,
Lots of cons.
a lot of cons. Yeah, I'm a con artist. You can see that. But then Krav Maga, as I started learning handgun defense, and I got into one fight, and it changed the way I thought about things. That whole ego, that whole,
we should check the live.
I've got to be the tough guy. And being a tough guy is so overrated. It's just not worth it. We all played King of the Hill in school, and every week there was somebody new. And I always tell people, I don't care how bad and how tough you think you are. There's always somebody out there bigger, better, faster, and tougher. So why find out? It's just not worth it to find out.
Those rights that we have, they come with responsibilities.
And that's my whole key is this.
Spider-Man Triple said that. With great power comes great responsibility, right?
Exactly right.
I don't care if you're talking about your freedom of speech, anything.
And that's what I was saying about the whole, the Second Amendment. Yeah, it is our right to carry guns, but we also have to be prudent about it. I mean, in fact, I just posted a story about a man who was one of these Second Amendment, he was, what do they call him, an auditor or somebody, walked into, I forget what store it was, with the rifle or a shotgun strapped to his back. And I'm like, what prudence is that? All that does is further make people go, what is this guy up to, right?
Yeah,
and so I'm like, and then you think about it, it's a personal thing. So he's proven his right, that's cool, but right then and there, it's all about you. And then, so all these companies like Chipotle and Starbucks and Buffalo Wild Wings and all these places that have had to take a stance, they have had to take that stance because somebody were trying to exercise their rights. And then, I won't say that they ruined it for the rest of us that are law-abiding and prudent, acting members of society.
So, do you feel like they were exercising their rights or pushing their rights on other people?
I think anytime I see somebody, and this is going to sound a little judgmental, I guess, but I say concealed carry is, about protection and rights. Open carry is a little more about attitude.
Yeah.
Anytime I've ever seen anybody with an open carry gun, I usually see a little bit of an attitude with it. And I'm not dogging on them. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, like I've always said.
They seem to be the ones that get videoed.
Yeah. Well, and then you always see these first year law students that are exercising, flexing their rights. Well, you can't do that. And that interaction with law enforcement goes 30 minutes when it could have been 2.5, and they've been on their way. Everybody's happy, But because we're flexing our rights and we're trying to prove a point, my whole philosophy is just be considerate and prudent and nice, and everybody gets along. I say this in my class all the time. I can go have a conversation with a flaming liberal or an ultra-conservative, anywhere in between, and I'm the nicest guy in the world. But there are certain factions, when they know that I have a gun, I'm all of a sudden an asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
And you go, well, I'm the same guy. Nothing has changed. The only difference is you now know I have a gun. So, and that's where I say, pardon the French, but that's where I also say attitude. We don't want people to question our motives. And if you want people to question your motives, do something that seems out of character for the demographic. Or
Exactly.
For the
I had a
place that
boss
you
who
are.
used to say, you can do whatever you want on your last day. And that really resonated with me. You know, and I think about that sometimes. Just because you can do something, like having a credit card, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right. Yeah, absolutely right. That credit card gets us into trouble if we're not disciplined. And, and it's kind of funny because, they just changed the law in Idaho about how old you have to be to get a concealed weapons permit, right? And I don't know if it's gone into effect. I think Idaho's fiscal year is July 1st, or fiscal end of the beginning of the year. And, I posted something about that. How do you feel about an 18-year-old carrying a handgun? And people are like, oh, well, hey, we send our kids off to war at 18 years old. And I'm like, well, let's take a step back from that for a minute. Okay, yeah, we do, but we don't pluck them off the street and then send them to a foreign or domestic war. We give them training, weeks, months of training, and then we send them off to war with the right tools and the right mentality and the right
and that's followed up by more training.
Exactly right. It doesn't stop there. And so I say the same thing about this. We don't give our kids a driver's license by not taking a test or going through months and weeks of driver's ed training, right? So to me, this falls in the same line. You don't do something irresponsible without, or something responsible without the practice and the training that precursors done.